Welcome to Tropes and Traumas, where books hurt us.
And we love it anyways. Welcome, you guys. Today we're going to be talking about ACOTAR Part 2 from chapter 23 on. And I definitely have to say, I do have quite a bit of hot takes. The first one being is compared to the second half of the book, Part 1 was kind of slow.
Let's do a quick spoiler alert!
Miss Sarah had us in the second half, like, bam, hanky panky, go home. I love you. Back to Prithian. Everyone's gone. Alice spills the beans. Under the mountain. Hello, Amarantha. A riddle? Feyre gets jumped. Dungeon time. Thanks, Lucian. Worm fight. Almost dead. Hello, Rhysand. Tatted up. Feyre's a gypsy. Dun, dun. Pull the lever, Kronk. A failed quickie. Stab, stab, stab. Amarantha lies. It's love. Feyre dies. Tampon slays the redhead. She's alive. Feyre's Fae and returns to the spring court. My point in saying all that is there was a lot happening in book two, and there is so much tea to talk about. So much. But let's actually go back to the kind of beginning. I know there was like the summer solstice, and like Feyre and Tam were like getting all lovey-dovey. But something that Lena wanted to bring up was about when the head came into the was it the garden?
Yeah.
There was like a head thrown into the garden. Do you want to take it away?
So basically, it was just left there, and they said it was a gift from the Night Court. Um, and Tamlin and Lucian proceed to just start talking smack about the Night Court, about how they're evil and just terrible people. And so that's when they end up having lunch, I think. And they're in the room having their lunch, and Tamlin senses that people are coming, and Lucian's like immediately hiding Feyre behind him, glamours her up. Enter Rhysand. We get his name, he's introduced. Still seems like he's vicious, unforgiving, and just the worst kind of guy. I mean, I'm still into it, but as far as what Sarah's letting us know, he's not a good person at all.
And actually, Farah had met him back at Calamine,
Yeah,
however you pronounce
Calamine.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's kind of interesting seeing that she was like, who's this interesting guy who saves her life? Which, I mean, that's not a small thing. And then he comes out to be this bad guy throwing heads in the garden and like threatening them essentially. Then we kind of go into where the whole point is like they have, sex and such. And then all of a sudden he's like, bye, you have to go.
Yeah,
What do
just
you
freaking
mean?
out. Like immediately just freaking out, not giving really any explanations, just saying that he can't defend her, he can't defend himself. I think just having Rhysand's presence was just what kind of set him off and realized that just him asking for Feyre's name, which she didn't even give, she ended up saying Claire Better, which was one of Elaine's old friends from the village that they used to live in. All of that basically freaked him out, and he was like, nah, you gotta go, I can't do this, and just sends her off.
And then she gets home and it's like suddenly we have money and we're all nice. Like it's like nothing happened before. And I know like they she goes that they were glamored, but it's just so strange to
Yeah,
watch
and
the
it's like
family who was so awful to her
night and day with
be
the
so
sisters.
nice.
Completely night and day with the sisters.
Crazy. And it's so strange. And then the father, who is like useless for like years, suddenly being like, I have money now, let's go make more.
Right. Just
Why does
on his
money
shit, just doing what he's gotta do.
why does money like make you suddenly more interested in wanting to make more money? If you have no money, that should make you want to make more money. I don't
I
understand.
also want to point out Elaine was actually extremely interested in planting vegetables now that she already has money, as
Mm.
opposed to when they were poor and she gave not one single about planting vegetables. I don't understand. they even mention, I'm sorry, because they even mention in the book the fact that the gardeners were afraid that they would put her out of business because she was planting everything that they could possibly think of. And that now she wants to do vegetables and they were worried that they were going to lose their jobs. Where was this energy before, Elaine? When you had not a food, nothing. You had nothing.
And the thing is I can understand how people change under different circumstances in the sense of like being poor, like you're very stressed out, you don't know when you're going to eat next. But it was like they weren't stressed out about it. Like they were just angry about it.
There was no
And
survival mode.
no survival mode. Yeah. Yeah. And then Miss Nesta all of a sudden being like, I remembered everything and went to go look for you. Whoa.
That was actually a huge revelation for me. I was like, hold on a second. Nesta's penis has actually become useful. Like,
Yeah.
she, although everything was done in a way that was still, you know, Nesta vibes, but she was still clearly able to convey how much she cared for Feyre and the family in general. Like, it wasn't just Elaine that she cared about. Still, she still hated her dad. Valid. But she did show appreciation even and jealousy over the fact that Feyre was able to take care of them the way that she was. She admitted to her shortcomings and was like, I couldn't have done what you did. I was like, okay, Nesta,
She couldn't do it because she didn't try.
true. But at least she admitted it. She had
Yeah. And
enough
she
in her to be
apologized.
able to acknowledge the fact that she wasn't doing nearly anything close to what Feyre was doing. So she knew what she was doing was worth something.
Thank goodness, because she was killing me in the first part of the book.
I'm saying.
But with that all being said, to have her go looking for her sister and like be turned back, that was crazy.
Right, because
And
first of
then,
all, the glamour didn't even work on her for her to have been going to look for her sister. What glamour?
mhm.
She was just like, I didn't, what? I knew that this was all wrong. She was very upset by the whole situation. Like, oh, so you get taken away and then all this BS is happening around us. Father is all of a sudden doing what he needs to do when all these years he just sat around, like how you just said, like she was extremely upset by all of it, which I was as well when we talked about this last time because I was just like, the glamour shouldn't have really been put in place in the first place. I didn't agree with that. They should have been left to their own devices. But I guess he wanted to make sure that if Feyre did go back, that she would have something worth going back to.
Yeah. And I also think it's interesting how after that, like Claire's family was like burned to ash and then Claire was taken. And then like that's the thing that makes Farrah go back and fight. Because it's interesting because right before she left Prithian, she's like, I get it. I have to go. And it's like, why aren't you like fighting to stay? Like, I don't understand. Like, if it was me and like it was someone that I like really cared for, I would be like, no, I'm gonna help you. How can I help you? And she was like the complete opposite in the beginning.
Hmm.
So it was interesting to see that. And then all of a sudden it switched when she's like, Claire's gone, so now something's wrong. Ma'am, something was wrong when he sent you away.
I guess because I feel like she was like, if something is going wrong here that Tamlin's really scared about, I should be with my sisters in order to protect them in case it does go over the wall.
I didn't think about that.
But
Yeah.
now she's seeing it's already over the wall. Claire's family is already somebody close to them. The name she revealed just got murdered and taken away. Like, family's gone, girl's missing. She's like, that should have and would have been my family. I need to go take care of whatever's going on over there so either can know that this is happening because she doesn't even know if Tamlin knows that the girl got taken away. And if he does know, that means things are way worse over there now than it was a second ago. And that nothing she can do is going to be able to protect her sisters anyways. Also, Nessa is actually being a help and like saying, we'll take care of this, we'll get out of here, we'll do what we gotta do. You go take care of business over there and see what you can do.
I
I
was
think
very impressed by that.
she was definitely inspired a lot by the fact that her dad didn't do for her mom what Farah's feeling like she wants to do for Tamlin. She's like, the only reason I'm even okay with this is because this is the way our father should have acted when our mother was sick. And now you're seeing that stuff's going down over there and you want to go protect. She respected that. If there was anything that she respected, it was that. She was like, you're always taking care of us. You're always trying to take care of you. Now you're trying to take care of this guy you fell in love with. Do what you got to do, sis.
Impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Completely different person from the first half of the book. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Because
where did this come from? And to know that she wasn't even glamored, that this was just who she was all along. It just wasn't showing.
it's very interesting.
Very
And then we get to the part where she finally gets over the wall and Alice reveals a whole plot twist, by the way.
extreme plot twist.
The whole first half of the book was not at all what we were led to
It
believe.
was
And
all
it
a
was like
lie.
it was, it was all lies. Like even I was reeling reading that. I was like, what do you mean? Like, because I mean, when I'm listening to like the way that they explain it, which by the way, the way that they explain it is essentially like there was a curse put on them, which she kind of already knew there was like a sickness, but it wasn't a sickness. It was like a curse put on by this woman who's captured a lot of people. And essentially, it makes it so that they have to wear these masks and that they have 49 by 40, was it 49 years, I think?
Mm-hmm.
7 by 7 years. So
Yeah.
49 years um, of freedom until if they don't find someone to fall in love with her under these very specific circumstances, which Farah fits into perfectly, then they won't be free and they have to live under the mountain. And to hear that and to know that her fate, her circumstance, her life was fated so this way she would kill that wolf in anger to then be dragged over, to then have to fall in love with someone under these pretenses that were already made. I don't know, for me it was like, was it even love? Like did they really fall in love with each other or was this all like manufactured to fit the narrative and fit the whole plot so this way they can become free? And I don't know, that whole thing was just, I mean, you could hear it in the story. Like she's like falling over because she's like, "What the heck do you mean?" I thought this was my destiny. Like, but I mean, I guess it was, but it like wasn't her choice, if that makes sense.
I feel like for her and for Farah, it was like a relief, I guess, because Tamlin didn't do anything in particular to manipulate her into loving him. He really couldn't, or like he couldn't try to convince her. She fell in love with him just because of everything that had been happening, like seeing him care for that fairy that got his wings ripped off, um just being in certain circumstances with the way that he took care of her even though she was drunk off the fairy wine. Like he was still sweet to her. He didn't, which was surprising given his MO, but he didn't take advantage of her while she was drunk. Um
The bare minimum.
yes, I mean
But
that's
also, she never got the bare minimum.
right. Her own personal daddy issues.
Hmm.
So just seeing a man that's even caring for other people and doing what he can and hearing all this stuff that's going on with the kingdom being under the, what is it, the blight
Hmm.
and all of that, like She's like, this is a guy who knows how to take care of his people. Lucian's super loyal to him for a reason, you know? Um, and then we also realized that Lucian was pressing her to stay this whole time because he was hoping Tamlin would actually keep trying to go through with making her fall in love, which he wasn't even gonna do that. For a while there, Tamlin was giving up. And
I
Lucian
think
was
part of
like,
it,
go ahead.
I think part of it also had to do with the fact that they were talking about how he doesn't like enslavement. And he felt like
Mm,
this curse that was put on them and like the answer was kind of enslaving her into like this life. And
right,
it
manipulation.
wasn't, it was manipulation. And so in Lucian's mind, he's like, but you need to do this for our people. But in Tamlin's mind, he's like, well, what about her? And I guess that's
Right,
kind of what I guess you're coming to. Like, he cared not just about his people, but also about her and her choices and her feelings and her family. Like, he wanted to make sure that was safe, and she's never had that.
right.
So, very interesting.
So much going on, and this isn't even the half of it. We haven't even gotten to
Under the
Under the
Mountain.
Mountain. Like,
Yeah, it's
oh man. Because Alice really broke down so much. She gave us what happened with Jurian. She told us about the ring on her finger and everything like that.
oh,
Like
and
the
that
whole thing with
story.
her sister, like Amarantha's sister, and the reason why she hates humans. Now we know why she's so well part of what makes her evil. She was already evil before all this, but like that just
Hmm.
made it 10 times worse because now she's got vengefulness going on now. So,
That too. But then Feyre finally gets under the mountain,
right?
and then she sees Claire Better's body.
Yeah. She finally meets the adder as well, which is terrifying. She
Terrifying.
was not able to see the adder at first, and now she's just like, oh, snap. So that was her first taste of what she was about to get herself into. She had no idea what Amarantha
Hmm.
was gonna look like. And then sees Amarantha, but also sees Claire's body hanging from the wall. Excuse me? Like
Can I
trauma
can I
punch?
can I tell you what I thought the adder looked like until like I was
Yes,
rereading this?
absolutely.
Let me tell you, I thought the adder looked like picture like a green ball of slime with feet and like wings. And like he had like little like horns like this. Like, oh, okay, it's like the Hercules movie.
Yes.
The little fat like
Yeah,
demon
I know
thing
exactly who
with
you're
the
talking about.
horns and then the wings. I pictured that but green. And then I was like rereading it and listening to this description and I was like, that's not at all what he looked like.
He was giving gargoyle vibes for me, but more slender and terrifying. Um, but I love your interpretation very much. It's kind of like, well, we haven't gotten yet to that part, but the worm. Everyone kept saying that the worm looked like the worm from SpongeBob. And I thought that was hilarious because that's not what I was getting. I'm getting all the gruesome details and
I just thought he was a worm with teeth.
no, I saw all the rows of teeth. I saw all of them. And I don't know how she survives that part, but let's get there. Let's get there.
Yeah, that
So,
was crazy, not gonna lie.
where were we up to just now? We saw Amarantha, we saw Claire,
We
we
didn't
see
get to wear
Tamlin
the
sitting next
riddle.
to her, and then she gives the riddle. They make the deal. She's like, because Farrah's like, listen, if we're gonna do this under my terms where I get something out of all of this.
Yeah,
Which
good for
finally
her.
she's showing some backbone. We're seeing her
Oh,
actually do what she needs to do, which is fine. Sure, she still
finally.
broke Alice's rule on making a bargain with these people, but she kind of had to in this situation and still didn't make the right bargain. But we'll get to that part later at the end as well, because she did miss something. Here we are. She gets a riddle in order to be able to free Tamlin and everybody at the end of all of this. She's doing the trials just to get herself free. Um, and the riddle. So we're up to the riddle.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's fine if other people didn't, but I knew the answer to that riddle immediately. And it was definitely quite frustrating that it took that long for Feyre to understand what it meant. I will only give her the benefit of the doubt because the girl can't read.
I was
So
gonna
it's not like
say,
she had other references for that, which is fine. But like, geez, woman.
I'm not gonna lie, Farah makes some mistakes, but I think something to kind of keep it in perspective, she was illiterate. Not only was she illiterate, she was so young.
Right?
She
Still a
was a
baby.
baby. She was a baby. She did like she never even said told I love you to anyone. And yeah, she should have told him I love you. That would have solved everything.
Literally would have the book would have been over. End of the
But
book, right there.
but I mean, she was a baby. She made a lot of like stupid decisions.
So we have to take her
But we
youth
have
and her illiteracy, like it's literal illiteracy. She didn't learn anything. She didn't go to school. She didn't know how to
Mhm.
read. Like she didn't get and reading, as we know as the book community, even if it's just fantasy stuff, teaches you so much.
Mhm.
Like she didn't have that as an option. She was outside all day.
And we'll get to why this is important later because I got some opinions.
Okay.
But we'll get there. Um, so what happens after that? So then she gets her beat.
Right. Amarantha introduces her to her realm immediately and in the
Mhm.
worst way possible. Blindsided, just knocked out. A couple, like,
Mhm.
just beat until she was knocked out. Not even just knocked out, because that would have been too nice. No, she got her ass beat. Then finds herself awoken up in a dungeon. Disgusting, disgusting dungeon. Not even like a nice, clean dungeon. No, it's not fresh. There's not no. She's in the worst situation as possible.
Talking about that dungeon, she vomited so much in that dungeon. I'm
I
sure
don't
they
want
never
to.
cleaned it.
I don't want to know what that smelled like.
I
I
don't
don't
even know
even
what
want
that
to.
smelled like. I
I
just want
don't
to know,
even.
was there ever a spot where she didn't vomit? Like, did she have a designated vomit corner? Like, that was something I was picturing because she was like, I vomited a few more times. And I'm like,
Right.
girl, where? You have no more
No
space to
chamber. Was
vomit.
there a chamber pot? Was there even a chamber pot? Like, listen, y'all. She was in a dire situation. And not only that, she couldn't open her eyes. Now she can't open her eyes, swollen shut, basically.
Mhm.
And thank goodness Lucian shows up, because I don't know what she would have done if he hadn't. Nose broken. This girl just was a mess. And this is how she's introduced to the whole situation she's in. She
And we
definitely could
said,
have put that in the bargain. She could have been like, can I at least have a good place to stay? Can I have a bedroom? Nothing. Oh my God. She taught me a lesson in that situation. If I ever end up in the fairy realm and make a bargain with anyone, I'm gonna make sure I have a nice place to stay. I'm not being put in and even if you put me in a dungeon, I need a bed, a chamber pot, or two. Like, God
yeah.
help her.
But not even that. But Lucian goes in there and he's like, you idiot. I'm like, she's trying to save you.
Oh, Lucian, I love you so much for that though. Cause yeah, no, she's still an idiot. You shouldn't have come back. They would have figured it out eventually. But
I
no,
don't know if they would have.
that's just Lucian's vibe. He had to. What did you expect from that guy, you know?
That's true. At least he's honest.
Right.
But from helping her, he gets punished.
right? But that was to be expected. It's
Yeah.
Amarantha. She's not gonna let anybody get away with that. That's just gonna, because as soon as she comes back, they're gonna be like, I thought she got her beat. Why does she look okay?
Mm-hmm. And then after that she fights the worm.
Right.
And I did not see a way for her winning. I'm gonna be honest, Sarah, Miss Sarah, you did so good at always figuring out an answer that I was like, how? How?
Mm.
What what now? How is she gonna survive this? Because there were times where I was really like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. What's the way? Somebody tell me. And she did each time. And it was a surprise to me. And I maybe I shouldn't have been surprised that there were bones there and that that's how she impaled it. She thought ahead to impale it. Like that was impressive. I'm not
She
gonna lie.
definitely, I'm glad they also kind of alluded to her being good at making traps from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning because she was already doing that at Tamlin's place. So she
Yeah.
did her hunting, still continued utilizing those skills even at Tamlin's because she didn't want anybody breaking into her room. So
Mm-hmm.
they made sure we knew she had a brain on her in that aspect. When it came to hunting, traps, all of that, self-preservation in that way, Feyre's got it hands down. She's good, which is why she was able to figure out that the worm was blind, that it couldn't smell her in its all of its grossness. She was like, well, all of this seems like it's just the regurgitated nastiness from the worm itself. Which she also was like, let me just not think about that, but that's what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, finds all the bones because she almost impaled herself on the bones. So she's like, well, if this is gonna hurt me, this is gonna hurt the worm. Let's set this up and see what happens because she had no other options. It was either that, she even kept saying it over and over again. She's like, if I don't figure this out, I'm dead. Like, that's it.
She does have survival instincts.
Very much so. And the
Mm-hmm.
crowd was definitely assisting her in that situation also because she was talking about how they kept looking in the direction of the worm and she realized the worm was nowhere near her. She's like, well, what's
But
up with
again,
that?
that was smart of her to even pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to them.
Right.
Because some people wouldn't have even paid attention to them. They'd be like, if I focus on that, I'll get distracted. Let me focus on this.
Mm-hmm.
But she used it to her advantage. So it's interesting to see where she has like some like knowledge deficits, and then she's like good in other aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. And then we get to what happens after that?
Well, I do want to
Rhys,
note that Rhys definitely bet all his money on Feyre winning and was the only one that bet money on her winning. And he came out, I know he came out with a lot of winnings.
which is wild because I thought he didn't like her, and here he is betting on her. He's the only one.
Right.
And on top of that, I thought he would get punished for that. And from what we saw, I didn't see he got punished for that.
She didn't seem to have punished him, but she was definitely pissed about it. And you could see it in her face. She didn't hide that emotion, not one bit. But I also don't think she revealed who it was that bet for her until he tells her later
That's
in the
true.
dungeon. Because she definitely hurt herself pretty badly during that trial where she was trying to defeat the worm. She said that she had a piece of her arm, like her bone was sticking out and she was bleeding out. I'm like, girl, damn, ow. I've never broken a bone, knock on wood, but like, I don't even want to know what it's like to be able to see your own bones sticking out of your arm.
Again, I was like, how is she gonna recover from this? Because Lucia just got punished last
Right.
time. What's gonna help her? Mamarantha's not gonna help her, is she? And I remember reading that and being like, what do you mean? Like how is she gonna get better? Who's gonna give her medicine? There's no antibiotics in freaking the Fey world. And I was like, and so I'm freaking out thinking about this, and then all of a sudden, Rhysand shows up. And
Slithering
she's
in with his shadows.
yes.
Mm.
And she's literally like she starts to be like a bitch. Like she's like, get out of here. You're evil. And like I get that he's evil.
But she's in the middle of passing. She's in and out of it. She's
Thank you.
dizzy. The room's spinning. She clearly is aware that she's bleeding out. She's like, the blood hasn't stopped flowing. Not that it's not just there. No, it's flowing out of her as we speak. And she still has all this energy and to yell at Rhysand and tell him to leave and that
And
she
I'm
doesn't want his
sorry.
help.
I'm sorry, but if you're dying, where's your survival instincts there? You're dying. He's the only one here. I would have been like, please help me. Please.
Right.
I need anyone. Anyone. I don't
Or
care
at
if you're
least
dying.
yell at
Like,
him to go get Lucian.
no, for real. Like that's what you choose. And yeah, I don't know. But it was so interesting watching that because she's like, he's a bad guy. He can't help me. And like I get her fear because he did like throw a head in her garden. But
She was also fearful of the fact that she didn't want them to know she was hurt in the first place. But I'm like, you know, you're on the verge of dying. You're not just hurt, you're dying. You're not going to make it to the next trial. It doesn't matter
right.
if they know you're weak at this point. Girl, you need help.
Mm-hmm. So when he offered her that help and she kept saying no, I was so upset. I was like, girl, he's trying to save your life.
She just
Figure it
needed a
out.
quick little backhand, like,
No,
like get
she
it
kind
together.
of.
Or like the
And
I'm sorry, it gives me Edna mode. Pull yourself together.
yeah, literally.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but I did like that she negotiated with him. That was impressive. You're dying and you negotiated it down from what he said, 2 weeks, and she was
Yeah,
like, no.
there goes those rare skills that she had from being poor. She knows how to barter.
Like, that's like the worst time to have that skill, but I mean, that's
Oh my
fine. It worked
God.
out for her, but
Right.
and also like knowing the little things, like he lied to Amarantha, stating that it was Claire, even though, yes, she gave him Claire's name, but she lied. He can read minds. Girl, wake up. Come
Also,
on.
he saw her in person. He knew
Twice.
what she looked like. He knew that
Twice.
Claire was clearly not Feyre.
And she was like, he's still so evil. And yes, he threw a head in her garden. But he also did tell her, hey, that was because she made me do it. That's my job.
Right.
It's either that or like we die. So, I mean, I don't know. I felt like her reason there, like, I don't know, maybe I'm naive. I would have been like, thank you so much. You're trying to help me and you betted on me. And like, you're like the only one who showed up. Thank you. And she's like, no. And I'm like, girl,
Just stubborn.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
stubborn.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That was irritating. But I mean, it worked
Point is,
out.
it all worked out at the end of that
Yeah.
because not only did he fix her up, he made sure she was clean and
hmm
all that.
But then he ends up having her like taken by the two fairies of his that are like invisible, getting her
Hmm.
dressed and having her dressed like revealing, is to slay the least, and have her
Yeah.
go out there and drink the fairy wine and dance. And she's so upset at him for it. But also, he gave her the fairy wine so this way she wouldn't remember it. Like, she was like the next day, like, I didn't remember it.
He
Like,
was definitely, he pressed her on that too. He was like, please, you're gonna want to drink this.
yeah, like, he's like, I don't want you to
Like,
remember this, but if I'm punishing you, I have to make it a punishment. And it's again, like, she's like, he's so mean to me. And I'm like, girl, he could have done like so many other things to you.
right.
Like he could have
But
like
I'm
physically hurt
guessing
you.
just being in the situation is different from seeing it from like an omnipotent view of how we're seeing everything. Like we're able to see the whole wide aspect of everything, whereas she's in it and she's just like, all this is happening. This is happening to me. This is happening to me. He's doing this to me. He's this, and
Yeah,
this, because that's all she was, that's all she knows of him. And
it's all
all of a
about
sudden he wants
perspective.
to help.
Yeah.
Like there's always got to be some sort of catch. There's a catch. She was already explained that bargains always have a catch. Like,
Yeah.
she's taught fairies were evil to begin with, like from childhood. So she's just expecting the worst out of all these people, except Tamlin, of course. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, but then Tamlin's just sitting there watching her. Like, not even watching her, actually a lie. He's looking away from her. Whatever. It was weird.
Yeah,
I get it. He can't help. I get it. I'm not mad at him. He can't help. Like, what is he gonna do? Jumping in there and save her and then get murdered?
right.
But like, I don't know. He couldn't even spare her a glance.
Nothing.
Not even as they're dragging her body away, he can't just quickly look at her when she's looking at him just to be like, I see you. Cool. Weird. Weird energy. Anyways, then after that, we get to the next point, which is she gets to, oh, part two, challenge two, when she has to pull the lever.
All
Um,
right.
that was hilarious.
It
Um,
definitely was. Like, it shouldn't
one,
be, but it is.
but also like I'm gonna choose. I can't choose one because one is by myself, but I can choose two because two is because me and Tamlin. Me and Tamlin, one plus one equals two, and
And
then
then
three is a
three,
crowd.
yeah, basically. Three represents me and my sisters, which is
Gross.
horrible. Like,
Then you have
girl, what
Rhysand in
kind
the back, like, pick a lever, pick one, hurry.
And yeah, and Lucian's like, just pick one. Like, he's literally dying. Like, he's about to die the worst death possible. And she's just like, well, hmm, not this one. Maybe this one. Like, ma'am, I'm sorry. Just pick one. Just pick one.
Well, also, if I was in her position and I couldn't read and I was looking at those levers, I don't know what I would have done.
And listening to her sound out the words from the question that she was given was kind of hilarious. I want to know what the whole question was. What happened with the bouncing grasshoppers? What what how did I want to know? Hey
Well, we also
Sarah,
know she's
can
not
you
good
give
at
us the
riddles.
rest of the question, please?
No, really.
Like actually?
We don't even know if she would have got it because she's not even good at riddles, even if she could have read.
True. She was just at a loss period in that situation. Because they
But
both would have died. It wasn't even just Lucian. She was gonna die too.
yeah, the way that they did it was that his was lower, so this way he would die first and she could watch it.
Yeah,
And by the way, Lucian always getting picked on,
poor thing.
all because he's friends with Tamlin.
All but this is even from before this. The whole even with his dad
Yeah.
and his lover. Like the dude gets the short end of the stick always.
Always. It's so sad.
I'm rooting for him still. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
poor Lucian.
But anyways, Reese saves her
Right?
again.
With their bond. Let's make sure we specify, like we have to specify. It's
Mhm.
because something's going on there that they're bonded together in a way that she tries to reach for specifically. Also, the fact that she kept trying for the same lever that made her feel pain annoyed the crap out of me. It's clearly not that one. Why are we reaching for it again? Oh, this hurt? What? Oh no, it still hurts. Yes! Stupid! Reach for one of the other ones. Like, I'm sorry, Lucian's going lower and lower, and you're still. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand. Feyre does things that are so questionable sometimes.
She's a baby. We
Ah,
have to remember she's a
ah,
baby.
I don't want to keep.
She was like, why did that hurt? Is it a glitch in the Matrix? And she reaches for it again.
We can't keep leaning on the fact that she was a baby, okay? Ah, God. But yeah, no, they had this little bond situation. I guess it's from that tattoo, that whole bargain
Mhm.
thing that they did. Because she did have a whole eye on her hand as well,
Which was so
from the
interesting.
tattoo, which is definitely very interesting. Um,
Like, can he see her?
I don't know.
I'm thinking about that. Like, if she wipes with that hand, can he see her? No, really.
Ew. I mean, like, unless that's what you're into, but like, gross.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if she could see everything through that hand, like, what if she scratches her butt? Like, can he see her?
You're horrible. Oh my God.
I'm just saying. Also, it's interesting that it's a hand. It's an eye on her hand, and then it's an eye on Amarantha's ring
Right, there's a theme
for
here.
Durian. So that's what's like super interesting. I wonder why it's an eye. Hmm. I don't know.
Mm,
But yes, they have a bond, which is very, very interesting that she doesn't understand yet, and I don't even know if Rhys understands it, to be honest.
nope.
Uh,
It doesn't seem like it.
I
I
mean,
mean, he
he understands it,
understands it enough to be able to utilize it,
right?
but he
But
also already knows he has mind control and mind powers. Always
which
using
if
his
he had
ta
that too,
mind
why couldn't he just
talons.
tell her number three? Why couldn't he just be like, talk to her in her head?
Well, I guess they still had to make it seem like she was trying other levers and didn't just all of a sudden pick the correct one.
But also, wouldn't it look funny to Amarantha if she goes, oh,
I thought
ow,
about that too.
ow?
I did think about that, but I don't know. She's also just a silly human to them, so who knows?
But also, it might have just been Sarah showing us that he's able to communicate with her through the bond. That might have been the reasoning for it, but realistically, the easier way would have been like number three.
Right.
But oopsie doopsie, oh well. They lived,
Right.
so.
Thank God.
hmm And then she continues to dance at night. I'm a gypsy. That's what I picture. I just picture her. You know what I honestly started picturing when I was reading it
Mm.
through? I was picturing like she was like, "What kind of dance?" And I'm picturing her going like, like shaking her butt, like drop it low for me, drop it low for me, and just like pop lock it, drop it,
Oh
pop lock.
no. No. I definitely pictured the best outfit for her possible because the way they described it, I was into it. I was
Oh
getting,
yeah,
what princess was that Princess Leia that wore that outfit when she was asleep for Jabba the Hutt? If any other nerds know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But
I
that
pictured
outfit
great
was
outfits.
sexy.
I pictured great outfits, but honestly, I was like, I was confused. So was it completely sheer and she was like butt naked?
I don't think it was sheer. I just think that it had like the
So
little what do you call them? Little flaps, I guess. Like
yeah, and like
Tarzan,
that, I'm
Tarzan
guessing
type
that
situation, but
too.
longer.
Hmm. I don't know, but yeah, I just thought it was funny because when she asked that in my head, I was like, apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Picturing her like crazy. Like when I first read it, I didn't picture that. I was picturing like sexy, like a snake, like you know. But then the second time it was like the apple bottom jeans. And I'm picturing her twerk. I'm picturing
Just a
her like twerk.
mess.
Yeah,
Just
I
a
was.
mess.
Yeah, it was so funny. But yeah. Anyways, then she overhears the adder talking to some other creature about Jurian. Um, what was it they were talking about? They were talking about that Amarantha doesn't do anything that isn't not an advantage to her. And then they
Hmm.
keep talking about some other things, which I honestly don't really recall
Me either.
specifics. And then after that, she goes out for like the last time before her next trial. And all of a sudden, now Tam Tam is able to walk around. Uh,
Right. It just pops up out of nowhere.
Very interesting when he was stuck to that chair the whole time, and now he can like actually see her. And then when he sees her, he like goes, "Come on, let's go to this little corner and hear her." And then she follows him in, and she's like, "Oh my God, I missed you." And then they start making out, and he like essentially tries to like boink her.
Right. Sorry, Tamlin. uh, she has been tortured, beaten, near death experiences. And the first thing you do when you finally get to have contact with her,
You don't even say I love you or anything. You
no
just
love, no
did he say I love you? I don't remember.
emotions. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Whatever it was, I don't understand how all of a sudden they're making out and all these things when they could be making plans or at least giving her hints on ways to deal with Amarantha, anything useful.
Even if you would have said like I love you, like I love you,
Yeah,
just
that
say,
would have
no,
been a
I
form of
love.
encouragement. Like you're doing,
No,
thank you for doing this.
but also like the emphasis on the love, because he can't tell her the riddle, but he told her so many times about his heart being made of stone, like indirectly, but she put it together. So I don't understand why he didn't emphasize the word love and make it like strange until she figured out the riddle. Like he
Mm-hmm.
didn't like try anything to help her get to the end safely. Does that make
Right.
sense? I
No,
don't know.
yeah. He could have done anything except what he did, is the point.
Don't
No
get me
help.
wrong. It was it hot?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Like, do I understand being like horny? Yeah. But also, she just was like beaten and maimed and is now Rhys's slave, who, by the way, you hate and think is like trying to hurt her. You don't even ask it, has anything happened to her? Is she okay? Like, did he
Right.
touch you? Like, nothing.
Right. She could have been hurt
Mm-hmm.
sexually, and
Uh-huh.
you're over here just touching on her. Who knows how she's feeling right now? Ugh, but in comes Reese, ruins the whole moment. Kind of glad for it, to be honest. Still not a fan of Tamlin. Um, and so, right, so he interrupts them because now Amarantha's about to show up, almost catches Tamlin with her because that could have made things so much worse for her too. So shame on Tamlin. Hello? Because if Amarantha would have caught them, that would have made things so much worse for Feyre. She would have been
And
like, you know what? Third trial right now. Immediate. You know what? Forget the third trial.
he probably would have beat the shit out of her, to be honest. Again.
Again. Right. Just, you know?
Mhm.
So is that when we get to the next trial though? After that because that was her last night before the trial, yes?
Yeah, that was her last night before the trial. But I also have to say, she's like, you, Rhys, you're so mean. You're so this, you're so that. And he's like, bro, I just saved you.
Right.
And her thought process is, I hope Tam doesn't think I really was touching him. Man.
The fact that she has so much fear dealing with Tamlin too is an issue I have. He has anger management issues, and the fact that you're so scared of the consequences of if he knows certain things, why doesn't he trust you? Why can't you trust that he trusts you? And obviously, if something does happen between you and Rhys, you shouldn't be worried about it. The person he should be worried about is Rhys, not you. You know what I'm saying?
Especially because she's supposed to be with him for a whole week. What does that even mean?
Right, what's gonna happen during that week? That was
Like, if
part of
I'm
their
Tamlin,
bargain.
that's what I would have been thinking. I'd be like, oh my God, what does that mean? What does that mean? What kind of bargain was that? Like, I don't
Right. If I
understand.
was
I would have
Tamlin,
been
I would have been asking her questions about that.
like, not like in a bad way, but just being like, are you okay? What does that mean? Are you safe? Like, has anyone hurt you? Like, let me see if there's anything on your skin. Are you okay? Do you need any healed wounds? Like, I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to from that. So then we get to the part where it's her third trial,
Yep.
and she's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And she has to kill three fairies.
Right.
And I'm not gonna
Amarantha's
lie,
unhooding them one by one.
and their families are crying in the background.
Right.
Some are praying, and it is torture. I'm not gonna lie, like
Straight torture.
that was a really hard scene, like to
That would have
like
broke
listen
me.
to. Like I cried all over again. I was like, oh my God, like that's so hard. But she did it. She killed the first two, and then they unhood the third one. And plot twist again, It was Tamlin.
Right.
And Feyre is sitting there thinking, I'm just gonna win this challenge to set the fairies free, but then I lose Tamlin in the process. The
Right.
devastation.
The
Could you
heartbreak.
imagine that? You're doing all this for the one that you love to have to kill them to set everyone free. So, like, yeah, it's good for the greater good, but you're losing the one that you love.
Right.
But thank God. Thank God she remembers all these things that people have been telling her.
Right, because she was told more than once.
Mhm.
Tamlin has a heart of stone. And they meant it literally.
And the adder says Amarantha would never do anything that's not an advantage to her. So if she wants Tamlin, Feyre can't kill him.
Right, there's no way that Amarantha would let her do that. That's the person she wants to hold on to.
Hmm. So
It
she
also
stabs.
helps, I'm sorry, but it also helped that Feyre has her hunting things and knows about the anatomy in order to be able to plunge the knife exactly where she needed to. That huge help, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Without education, she wouldn't even probably know where the heart was.
Mm,
Hmm. Well, so that was thank God. So she stabs him, she hits on Stone, and he's fine. And everyone's excited because they're going to be free.
right,
And Marantha's like, no, you're not. I didn't say win. And Farah's heart drops. I mean, it's already down in her ass, but it's farther now. It's on the ground.
right.
And not literally because it will be literally soon, but then Amarantha starts to literally beat the snot out of Farah again, but herself this time. And as she's beating her, Farah starts to remember the riddle. And finally, she gets the answer, which is love. She says it on her last dying breath. Amarantha stomps out her spine and then it cracks and she dies. But right before then, she said the word love, which broke the riddle. Tamlin got his powers back. He didn't take off his mask. He left his mask on, turned into a beast, and stabbed her and then ripped her throat out.
Ripped that hoe's throat the fuck out. Bye, Amarantha.
Bye bye. Which, by the way, Sarah, the book was a
So,
masterpiece. The way
so
that
much
everything fell,
satisfaction in that moment.
yeah. But the way that everything like fell, like it was perfect. I
Yes.
mean, yeah, it was annoying. There were parts I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious? Pharaoh, get it together." Oh my God. But also, if we didn't have those parts, the book wouldn't have been, I think, as good as it was.
All right. So now Feyre's dead. Main character gone. What do we do
Mhm.
now?
Except for she's not, because she's sitting there and she's apparently like tethered still, watching everyone like a ghost. So after Amarantha has died, um, everyone starts to get their powers back, and Tamlin starts crying over her body, and then all the High Fae, they just get up and walk over and give her a drop of their power.
I think Summer Court's the one that started it.
Yeah, and then all of them start to do it, with the last one being Rhys. And
Mhm.
Rhys says something along the lines of, for all that she's given us. And then she comes back to life, but this time as High Fae,
Which is insane.
which makes
All
complete
the
sense
things
because
I
her name
do to
is
become
Feyre.
high fae.
But also her name is Feyre.
Feyre, right?
That's, I
Good for
mean,
her.
no, but honestly, if she's getting all their power from them, what does that mean? Like, is she gonna have magical, like, now that she's Fae, is she gonna have like magical powers, like all of their magical
I mean,
powers?
all the high fae inherently have a type of power. And I think she's supposed to be, but I think they even mentioned the fact that like Tamlin's able to shift, he's able to Rhys is able to shift into something. I know that um Lucian can't, but he's not, is he high fae as well?
Mhm.
He is.
He's the
Interesting.
son of the autumn. He's the youngest. He's the youngest, or like he's like one of the middle sons of the
Right.
autumn court. He's not the
Okay.
youngest. He's like in the middle.
Okay.
Um, but I don't, yeah, you're right. I don't think he can shift to anything. Not that I know of.
Right.
But yeah, and then after that, they end up spending one more night under the mountain. And then, oh, I forgot to mention this. Before all this happened, right before she ended up going through that third trial, Rhysand came down to visit her in the dungeon.
Oh.
And he started to talk about all these things. He was like, I'm just so tired of doing this. Like,
Oh,
I just
right.
want to go back. Like, I just want this to be over. And she's like, why are you telling me this? And she's being like, kind of a bitch. But I mean, I get it because he's like your evil captor.
Right.
And, he just broke up her and her man's like thing. But he's like telling her all his feelings. And she's like, why are you telling me this? And he's like, I just need someone to talk to that's not going to hold it against me.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting because she's Tamlin's. So what do you mean she's not going to hold it against you? I don't know. I thought that was very interesting and interesting to put point because when we get back to the end, when she can't sleep at night, so she gets up and she like leaves somewhere and she sees Rhys and he takes her outside just to stand there for a few moments to see what it looks like. And she's like watching the sunrise and she's in awe. And he says he admits something to her. I can't remember exactly. But then he's like, I'll see you back in a week. And she's like,
Right.
and it's so funny.
Right. Like, girl, you knew what it was. This is the
You
deal
did.
y'all had. Come on, girl. But they
But
give the ending gives happily ever after. She gets
yeah.
to go back to the spring court with her Tamlin,
Yeah. And she's
and
happy.
everything happened to work
Traumatized.
out the way it needed to.
She's happy, but traumatized.
Right.
But happy. But yeah, it was a really great book. And I'm
It
excited to start the next.
was. I'm
Yeah.
actually extremely happy with how everything worked out.
Honestly, reading the end of book one, I was like, I don't even know why there's a book two. That sounds
Yeah,
like
what
happily ever after to
happens?
me. So
But
I don't know the theories, but for anyone who hasn't read it, tell me your theories down below. Tell us your thoughts on anything and everything. Do you like
yeah,
Tamlin? Are you happy they're together? What's up with Rhys?
yeah, what do you think
Also,
Reese has in store for her for this week that she has to spend with him every month for the rest of her life?
so true. Also, what's up with Lucian? I mean, I don't know. Lucian was punished a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Just tell me what you guys think. All right, guys. So the next book is going to be A Court of Mist and Fury. And we're going to be reading all the way up to chapter 34. And we're going to complete chapter 34. And we're going to stop at chapter 35. So this way you
Correct.
guys know what we're up to, okay? All right. This has been so fun. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.